Hi, friends. My name is Dr. Raheja, and when I was told to speak on stress today, I felt it was important for me to speak in the context of what is happening in the world. Why are people stressed? What is the primary thought process? What are people going through? It's a very unprecedented situation the world is going through. More than half the year has gone by. The businesses have come to a grinding halt. People are not able to do their are not able to earn their normal livelihood the way we used to entertain, the way we used to live our lives, the way we used to socialize, the way we used to go out and do things for our recreation, like go and play a sport or go for a walk. All of those things have changed. And as they have changed, so is obviously a change in the way we are thinking, the way we are perceiving the world, the way our mind is coping with it, or um, a lack of coping, or a lack of adequate resilience to be able to stand up in the wake of the surmounting challenge that stands right in front of us. For most of us, our ability to deal with a stressor like this was limited because we knew very little on how we were going to react whenever such a situation arose. And because there are no benchmarks, there are no parameters, there is no exposure to a stressor this huge, this mountainous, that we are found gasping, we are found wanting, and a lot of us are crumbling down. And nonetheless, this is not to downsize or to underestimate a wonderful resilience that lies in all of us to be able to wake up in the want of a challenge that is shaking us up and is shaking the entire humanity. In this situation, I feel because there is a spiral of negative thoughts. There is a anxiety that we are plagued with, and the foundation of that anxiety is nothing but a fear that we are all grappling with, a fear that's almost equivalent to what we call as a morbid fear or a fear of death. Because when this challenge to the novel coronavirus came in, because we did not know how people were going to react, how our bodies were going to react, and as we were loaded with information from the media vis-a-vis the number of people who were suffering, the number of people who were dying. People saw stocks of dead bodies in cities like New York. We saw stacks of dead bodies in Brazil. We were bombarded with information that mortuaries and funeral grounds were overloaded and overworked. I think all of that got us face to face with a very real fear, and that real fear was that we were not invincible. We were all uh, prone to a situation where we might die. All of us felt that morbid fear. And as time went by, that morbid fear amplified. And as the world peaked its fear of morbidity, we dealt with lockdowns. All of us were huddled at home, and being huddled at home threw upon different kinds of challenges, and those challenges included living in very close proximity with very intense emotional expressions with our family, with whom we were not used to spending so much time. Like I said earlier, the whole parameters of what we used to do to entertain, how we used to socialize, that changed. How we learned the dynamics of social distancing, and we governed by a age-old adage of man is a social animal. That means socializing for us is very essential. And here we were at a crossroad where socializing wasn't going to be possible. So I think all of this put together has exposed us to the kind of challenges and the kind of stressors that we have not known in the past. We're trying to do different things, things peaked, and then what also peaked was our was the fear of losing our livelihood for most of us to deal with our salary cuts, for a lot of us to deal with attrition, for loss of jobs. So the whole dynamic of the world today are going through a fluxity that is not known to mankind. And what is going to be the outcome of this, none of us knows very well. But I think at the hem of it is the understanding that we are all resilient, we all are powerful, we all have the coping mechanism to be able to deal with the stressor and to emerge victorious. And I think to be able to do that, we need to start to have faith in our own self, faith in our collective consciousness, faith in the fact that human race is far too stronger. We will and we shall overcome this crisis. But what is really important is that we don't crumble down. I've been talking to some people who've been plagued with the coronavirus, who've gotten afflicted with, who've contracted the virus, and I think one of the biggest challenge that they need to deal with at that moment is the fear that now that they have contracted the disease, they are going to die. And this is such a morbid fear that works up your system. It increases your BMR, it works you up, lets you hypoventilate. The whole hypothalamo-pituitary axis, which controls the anxiety system and the stress evoking and balancing system in our body and brains, goes haywire. We get extremely worked up, and in the wake of that, our immunity deteriorates further. Our ability to be able to fight back with the immune response that will possibly protect us, that gets more tarnished and more neutralized, leading to more damage. Sometimes the damage is such that people don't recover and they succumb to it. So I think one of the key factor in dealing with stress of this nature, or dealing with any stress, is we say a fight or a, a flight response. So either we gear up to fight a challenge, or we decide to flee the situation. Now in this case, fleeing is as much a possibility as we take up the challenge of protecting ourselves, of using the means and mechanisms to possibly prevent us from contracting the infection. But as we see, the ring of circle is getting closer and closer. Now it's possible, especially in India, with the increasing number of cases in New Delhi, where I live, the number of cases is increasing, and with that increase in case, that closing down of the ring of the circle, more and more people who are within your vicinity seem to be contracting the disease. So you can hear of somebody close by, a friend, a neighbor, a driver, somebody may have known who contracted the disease. So at a time, despite all precaution, whether one will still be afflicted or not is a big question mark. We continue to take the precautions that we can, continue to practice social distancing, the hygiene, sanitize ourselves, wash our hands, use sanitizers, stop touching our face and the mouth, which are the usual routes that the fomites, when they touch them and the virus contracts it. I think apart from all of that, it is also keeping your mind very, very stable. It is trying to undo the clutter of huge amount of information that's being fed into our system, which is evoking and perpetuating the fear response more. And this fear response can tend to work oneself up a manner that, unfortunately, when we do contract the disease, we may be ill-equipped to handle it. We might succumb. We might go through the pressures, and that might lead to an alteration in the fighting response that our body is supposed to evoke in the wake of that challenge. So keep your mind stable, keep being still, think with focus, do the right things. I think it's important to meditate so your mind can be focused. It is important to the usual precautions that I have already enumerated that everybody is talking about. I think we need to start practicing them, and I think alongside that. Just possibly have a good schedule to the day. Make sure you are exercising, make sure you are doing a little bit of yoga, make sure you are finding a good work life balance. For a lot of us, the work life balance may have been thrown for a toss, but now that the offices are reinstating, maybe some of us are still working from home. It is important to respect the boundaries so that the work life balance is maintained, and you're not really carrying work to later hours at night, and vice versa, not really not being in the working office mode during the working administrative hours. So I think with all of that, if you are maintaining a good sleep hygiene, if you are sleeping well, if you are eating well, if you are thinking right. Now, let me just quickly enumerate a little bit about thinking right. I think in terms of thinking right, what's important is that our thoughts are in control of us. Our thoughts are not going haywire, and then these thoughts end up controlling our emotions and our behavior. So it is important to keep our thoughts aligned. It is important to know that the genesis or the loci of these thoughts is internal. It comes from within. So I think learn how to be able to identify your thoughts. Learn how to be able to identify some of the anomalies and the aberrations in thinking patterns that all of us given to, and then it leads to obvious disruptions and distortions in our life, feeding us and making us go through painful emotions and indulging in painful behavior. Some of the dysfunctional behavior includes either smoking tobacco or using too much alcohol, or trying to use one of the substance or a pill or a drug to help take this stress away. It's my appeal that we should not give in to such temptation. It is extremely important that I mean, the roots of the mind management also come from yoga, from Patanjali Yoga, from Hatha Yoga, from Jnana Yoga. So it is important that we have our knowledge and wisdom in place, which will help us to be able to keep our thought process aligned, our thought process under our control, because that's what the mythological scriptures also teach us. If our thoughts are in our control, if we can just possibly learn how to be able to replace the dysfunctional thoughts. And here I'm reminded of a beautiful proverb which says that if people were to treat me the way I treat myself, I would sue them, which implies that I'm very angry when people ill treat me. But when it comes to my own self, I don't shy away from subjecting myself to ridiculing, painful emotions, painful thoughts, for food which is not right, for a lifestyle which is not right, lack of exercise, painful negative emotions. Anger, I mean, what does anger do? It's like drinking poison and waiting for somebody else to die. I mean, do I harm somebody with my anger? No, I'm only harming myself. I'm perpetuating a cycle of negative emotion, a cycle of negative neurochemistry in my body, which then affects my brain, affects my endocrinal, my hormonal system, leading to a lack of balance, a lack of homeostasis, a lack of the synchronization between this beautiful orchestra called body and brain and mind and soul, a symbiosis of which leads to a healthy mind, a healthy person, a happy person, a person who's not just running after material thing, a person who's not just chasing happiness, a person who's not just totally confused and just getting greedier, because one of the example of greed in our body cells is that when one group of cells become greedy, they lead to a very well-known disease called cancer. So I mean, happy people are giving people. Happy people are who can share their happiness. Happy people are who understand कि ये दिल मांगे मोर तो समझ में आता है, लेकिन जब दिल सिर्फ मांगता ही जाता है तो दिल फिर एक कैंसरस रूप ले लेता है। हमारे शरीर की, हमारी सोच की प्रतिक्रिया कैंसरस हो जाती है और दिन पर दिन हम एक नेगेटिव स्पाइरल की इमोशंस में बनते चले जाते हैं, जहां पे फिर अवसाद, डिप्रेशन, एंजाइटी और फिर जब ये चरम सीमा पे पहुंच जाता है, जब क्लिनिकल डिप्रेशन बहुत ही हद से गुजर जाता है तो आत्मघात के विचार आते हैं। अभी हाल ही में एक स्ट्रेस का एक बीमार सोच का रूपांतर, दर्दनाक अंजाम हमारे सामने आया जब एक प्रमुख अभिनेता ने खुदकुशी करके अपनी जान दे दी। तो एक ऐसा सितारा जिसने जिंदगी में सक्सेस पाई थी, लेकिन सक्सेस के पैरामीटर्स क्या थे? उनके मायने में, उनके नजरिए में वो असफल थे, लेकिन लोग उनको देख के ईर्ष्या करते थे, उन्हें एपिक मानते थे सफलता का। उनके जीवन में जो चैलेंजेस आए, उन्होंने उसको कैसे प्रोसेस किया, जिसने उनकी परसेप्शन और विजन को कलर किया उस मापदंड का एहसास कराने में कि वो सफल थे या असफल थे। और एक व्यक्ति कितनी भी बड़ी चरम सीमा पे पहुंच जाए सामाजिक मापदंड पे, लेकिन अगर वो अपनी नजर में असफल है तो फिर वो जो विफलता, वो असफलता की जो 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 सोच है बढ़ती चली जाती है, वो अंदर हमारे एक ऐसा सूनापन लाती है, एक ऐसा एकाकीपन लाती है, एक ऐसी ऐसी लोनलीनेस लाती है कि फिर हमें जो जीने का दर्द है वो इतना बड़ा, इतना इतना पर्वतीय लगता है कि हमें लगता है कि शायद मरने का जो जो दर्द है उससे कम होगा और हम आत्मघात की सोचते हैं। तो बहुत जरूरी है कि समाज चेते, हम लोग चेतें और समझें कि ये जो एक बंदरबाट दौड़ में हम भागते चले जा रहे हैं, द फैक्ट दैट वी आर रनिंग नाइट एंड डे विदाउट रियलाइजिंग कि हम चाहते क्या थे। और जब ब्रेक लगी इस लॉकडाउन ने, इस लॉकअप ने एक एक ऐसा मापदंड दिखाया, एक ऐसा पैरामीटर दिखाया जिसे हम लोग यूज्ड टू नहीं थे। बहुत लोगों की जिंदगी क्रम्बल होने लगी, लेकिन उसके बाद जब लोग उससे बाहर उपजे, उससे उठे और अपने आप को सशक्त किया, तो आई कैन सी मेनी पीपल अराउंड मी हु आर मोर एम्पावर्ड, हु आर मोर एनविजन्ड, हु आर मोर स्ट्रॉन्गर। एक उदाहरण देता हूँ। एक गोयंका जी की बड़ी प्रसिद्ध मेडिटेशन है जिसका नाम विपस्सना है, जिसमें अगर आप जो लोग जानते हैं वो ये समझ पा रहे होंगे कि जब आप वो मेडिटेशन करते हैं तो तकरीबन 9 दिन तक आपसे ये उम्मीद की जाती है, अपेक्षा की जाती है कि आप मौन धारण करेंगे, आप कुछ भी बोलेंगे नहीं। और दूसरे तीसरे दिन लोग जो है चरमराने लगते हैं, टूटने लगते हैं, एक ऐसा इमोशंस का बवंडर उठता है कि वो बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाते। लेकिन जो लोग डटे रहते हैं चौथे, पांचवें, छठवें, सातवें, आठवें दिन, और जब वो उससे उभर के आते हैं, दे कम बैक एज मोर एम्पावर्ड, मोर पावरफुल, more awakened human beings. तो इस ये जो लॉकडाउन हुआ और जो ये ह्यूमन रेस के साथ एक झंझोड़पन आया, इससे मुझे लगता है कि हमें बहुत चिंतित नहीं होना चाहिए। हमें समझना चाहिए कि एक इंसानियत को ऐसा सबक सीखने को मिल रहा है कि हम इनविंसिबल नहीं है, हम इमॉर्टल नहीं है, हम जो अपने आप एक ईश्वरीय रूप धारण करने लगे थे, हम इमॉर्टल नहीं है तो हम ईश्वर नहीं है, हम सृष्टि के रचयिता नहीं है। तो शायद अपनी जो हमारी जो अस्तित्व है, ये वक्त है उसको पहचानने का, और जो व्यक्ति इसको पहचानेगा वो इस स्ट्रेस से उभर के एक बेहतर इंसान बनेगा, वो ज्यादा सशक्त बनेगा। और मुझे लगता है कि जीवन की लड़ाई में कोई भी अब उतार चढ़ाव जो आएगा उसे उसे डील करना, उसे पहचानना, उसे एम्पावर होके डील करना शायद इन व्यक्तियों के लिए आसान होगा। तो मेरी आप सबसे ये कामना है कि अपने अंदर विश्वास जगाए रखे, बनाए रखे। बिल्कुल घबराने की ये घड़ी नहीं है। और आई थिंक टफ टाइम call for a tougher challenge. It is very important that when times get tough, the tough get going. So all of us have to get up, shrug ourselves, and prepare for these difficult times, which will eventually help us to become more awakened and better human beings. And with that, I wish you all the best, and I will join you very soon again to talk about another topic in the same continuum. Thank you very much. Namaskar.